World War II, Casablanca Conference. Churchill got in the habit of walking down the beach after hours, smoking while he pondered the day's negotiations. One day wanders further than ever, goes outside the secure perimeter, and runs into a guard. Said guard is an American private on his first deployment of the war. He is determined but green as grass. Halt! Who goes there? It is I, the Prime Minister of the British Empire. Churchill replies, affably enough, being a former soldier himself. No, you ain't. Well, yes, I am. This goes on in the same vein for a minute or two, with this private from bumfuck nowhere refusing to believe the leader of 1/3 of the entire Allied coalition just randomly wandered upon in the dark. The GI gets more and more frustrated. Finally, he screams out, "Sergeant of the Guard, I got a fella that says he's the Prime Minister of England, and I think he's a goddamn liar." Sergeant runs up, shines flashlight, sees soldier, sees Churchill. Oh shit face. Many abject apologies are made, never happen again. Churchill was a chap about it, shared some of his smokes, wandered off. History does not record what happened to Private Snuffy afterwards. From Army at Dawn by Rick Atkinson. His World War II histories are full of these hilarious antecedents. I remember reading about how a boxer decided to climb on top of a Panzer IV and beat up the commander, then the crew surrendered in Normandy, 44. This is from the Stratagemata by Sextus Julius Frontius. Melanthus, the Athenian general, on one occasion came out for combat in response to the challenge of the king of the enemy, Xanthus, the Boeotian. As soon as they stood face to face, Melanthus exclaimed, "Your conduct is unfair, Xanthus, and contrary to our agreement, I am alone. But you have come out with a companion against me." When Xanthus wondered who was following him and looked behind, Melanthus dispatched him with a single stroke, as his head was turned away. Literally the oldest trick in the book. Mustache size matters in the old Ottoman world. One of the greatest Ottoman sultans had mustaches so long they had to be tied behind his neck while he fought. And in the tragic last scene of the Montenegrin national epic, a companion says to the dying hero, "Let me lift up your mustaches so that I can see the wound in your chest." The neat mustaches on these statues of Saddam were the size of surfboards. On the upper walls outside the dining areas were proverbs in Arabic, worked in marble. One ran, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." Saddam Hussein. For me, it's that time during World War II that U.S. servicemen cucked Aussies so hard that it caused a riot. The Battle of Brisbane. U.S. military pay was considerably higher than that of the Australian military, and U.S. dress uniforms were seen as more attractive than those of the Australians. The U.S. Army provided silk stockings and candy to American troops, which they handed out to Australian women, as well as U.S. Army rations, in a time when Australians were on a poor diet due to rationing of food to civilians. This resulted in U.S. servicemen not only enjoying success in their pursuit of the few available women, but also led to many Americans marrying Australian women. Facts greatly resented by the Australians. In mid-1942, a reporter walking along Queen Street counted 152 local women in company with 112 uniformed Americans, while only 31 women accompanied 60 Australian soldiers. By the time the violence had been quelled, one Australian soldier was dead and hundreds of Australians and U.S. servicemen were injured.